Good morning, or good middle of the night, should I say. It's 2:10 in the morning. I'm up, the kettle's on, the suitcase is packed, and I'm about to head to the airport. And I've got that pre-holiday excitement feeling, even if it is the middle of the night. And just time for a quick coffee before we hit the road. And I'm off skiing for the first time ever. I've never been skiing. I've never even had a lesson before. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm going with my brother and his girlfriend, and they've both been skiing a couple of times before. So I don't know really what I'm letting myself in for, but hey, let's find out. Let's go on an adventure. This should make for an interesting vlog, if nothing else. Probably me on my backside quite a lot, but there we go. Let's go. Bye, van. Have something bigger. The airport at 5 o'clock in the morning is the only acceptable time to be an alcoholic.
And is it that one? No, which one?
Good morning and welcome to the third day of our skiing trip. You might be thinking, hang on a minute, what happened to the first 3 days? Well, today we're on the second full day because the first day was only half a day on the slopes. We travelled from Stansted Airport to Turin in northern Italy, hired a car from the airport and drove to Montgenèvre, which is where we are now on the French-Italian border. Up in the Alps, we're about, altitude-wise, Montgenèvre is 1,860 metres. The air is quite thin up here. I have found myself getting lightheaded a couple of times after coming down the slopes, because of course the altitude is even higher at the top of the ski slopes. What I'm going to do, because basically the first part of the holiday has been so full on, I've had very, very little chance to film. And fortunately, my brother Luke and his girlfriend Maria, they've both been doing some filming for me on the slopes, which is good. So I am able to back up and show you the beginning of the holiday. If you've never been skiing before, this is going to be the perfect video for you to watch because I've never been skiing before. I've never even had a lesson before. I didn't know what to expect. I'd only heard stories from my brother and Maria from their previous skiing trips. So yeah, had no idea what to expect. No idea what I was letting myself in for. So after we hired the car, drove to Montgenèvre, we've checked into the apartment, which I'll show you around in a second. We hit the slopes. Oh no, before we hit the slopes, sorry, we had to go hire our gear. Everything bar the skis they've already got because they go skiing every year. Whereas I needed to hire the helmet, the boots and the skis as well. So we went to the hire shop, picked up all the equipment that we needed, and then we went and hit the beginner's slope, which is called the nursery slope. And that was where I got to experience my first ever attempt at skiing. And to be fair, I picked it up pretty quickly. Initially, I was falling over a lot. My first question, before I even got on the slope, my first question to Luke was, how do I fall over? Because I knew that was going to be happening a lot. So how do I fall over without breaking my ankle? And yeah, the trick is, I think, just to kind of fall sideways or fall backwards. You want to avoid falling forwards because that's how you get scraped chins and sort of broken wrists and things. What they teach you initially, I haven't had any lessons, this is just what Luke and Maria have been teaching me. You go down in a pizza slice shape. They call it the pizza. You have to, it's really awkward and I can't do it very well. You have to sort of put your feet, so they're pigeon-toed, your toes are almost touching, so the front of the skis are touching, and dig inwards. So, it burns your thighs. I don't think there's a single part of me that doesn't ache. It really burns your thighs. And you go down the slope in a pizza position and it controls your speed. And the idea is you should be able to come to an actual stop. I can't, because I just can't get my legs in that position. It's really awkward. I find it easier to have my skis straight, but of course if they're straight you're going fast.
Flying. He's gonna fall.
Another way you can slow down is to turn and go down the slope just zigzagging across. The problem with that is you need to know how to turn and that becomes the next trick. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't, and if I can't turn you just have to fall over, because that's the only way you can really stop yourself. When you're going slow speeds, falling over doesn't hurt. When you're going faster down the steeper slopes, that's when it starts to hurt. When you fall over but you carry on going. There's different types of slopes here and they're colour coded. You've got the beginners area and called the nursery slope, and that is part of what they call a green run. So the green runs, they're the beginner runs, or a little bit. So you've got the nursery slope beginner, green slope is when you just advance on from nursery, but they're longer slopes, but they're not quite as steep. Then you've got blue, red and black are like kamikaze slopes. I attempted a green one yesterday, at the end of yesterday, which would have been the first full day, so a day and a half on the slopes in total, and I did my first green run. I haven't successfully done it without falling over. It's a little bit scary because you veer off to the left and it goes a different way and it's a lot steeper, and it must be psychological because I couldn't stop myself going left, so I had to keep falling over, but I was going at quite a bit more of a speed than you get on the nursery slope, so it hurts a bit more when you fall over on that one. I need to get my turn-ins. I mean, if you guys, any of you guys are watching and you've been skiing before, I should imagine you understand and you're probably smiling at what I'm saying, because getting that pizza position is so awkward, let alone turning, and you've got to turn right. No, sorry, you've got to lean right if you want to turn left, and you've got to lean left if you want to turn right. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Today, I'm having a day off because the boots yesterday were absolutely killing my shins. My right shin is really hurting today. So when I put the boots on this morning, I was like, oh, this is just going to be agony today. So I'm having a day off. Those guys have gone out skiing without me today, which is probably a good thing because they can do some of the other longer runs, which I can't do yet. And then Maria and I are going to the spa this afternoon while Luke goes off and does the red runs that he wants to do on his own. Fortunately, Luke and Maria did take lots of video footage on the slopes. I wasn't able to because I couldn't concentrate on filming and skiing at the same time. It just wouldn't have worked. And even walking around, because you're carrying all the gears and your skis and everything, I couldn't really do any filming. So what I intend to do is kind of tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on, and hopefully all the footage that I've got, I can use it as a B-roll to show you me falling over, which there's probably quite a few of those.
Hang on.
Montgenèvre, if you've never been here before, is a fantastic ski resort. The slopes, I will show you because I've got a map sitting in here in front of me. The town itself is just this bit here, the buildings. I think this is where our apartment is, around here somewhere. So this is the nursery and the beginner's slope, and this is the ski lift, and this is the green slope that I did yesterday, just round here. But if I kind of bring it out a bit, look at this. You can go right to the top here. So this morning, Luke and Maria, they took 2 lifts up right to the top here, and they did the green slope all the way down here, and that was about 40 minutes to do that. Then you've got some really scary black ones down here. But you can actually ski into Italy from here, which is really cool. The border is just here, and you've got the a lot of red runs going down into the Italian side, and then you can come back over to Montgenèvre, which here. So along the front, that's where you've got all the shops and the restaurants and the ski hire. I don't know if this is correct, but I'm sure I read somewhere that this is like the 5th largest ski resort. I don't like skiing areas because the town itself is tiny, but the ski runs, it's just expansive. It extends for miles and miles. Going down the red runs into Italy and then back round, I think it can take you a couple of hours to do that run. Let me show you around the apartment. So the room that we're in now, this is a pull-out sofa bed, which is where Luke and Maria have been sleeping, and wardrobes, dining table, and the kitchen area, which you probably saw because this was behind me. So we've been cooking our breakfasts in here in the mornings and just having snacks and things throughout the day when we come back here, but we've been eating out in the evenings. The balcony, you can't really see much out here at the moment because the visibility is so bad, but I will show you some footage of what that looks like when the visibility is great, because you can see the slopes out here. I think the sun is starting to trying to come through there, look. It's trying. Temperature-wise, it's around the freezing mark, but it doesn't feel freezing. In here, we don't know how to turn the heating down, and it's so hot. We've even had the patio door open to let some cold air in because it's so hot in here. And when you're skiing, because you've got all the gear on, again, you're just sweating. It's really hot. You don't feel the cold at all. And you don't realise how much energy it takes to ski. It uses every muscle in your body, and you will ache. You be prepared to ache. That's why we're going to the spa this afternoon, to relieve our aching muscles. Then through here, we've got a bunk bed room, which is where I've been sleeping. Tiny little room, no windows. It does the job. I can't remember how much Luke paid for this accommodation, but I know it was cheap. That's why we're here, because he managed to get a fantastic deal, last minute deal. And that was why it was a bit of a spontaneous trip. And then through here, we got a separate just toilet in there, and it's a separate toilet and shower. So we've got the bathroom in here. The bathroom's really nice, actually. That is our little apartment. As I say, we're on day 3, so we've had 2 nights here. We're doing 4 nights in total. You're along with us this afternoon to the spa, and tomorrow we're going to have a full day on the slopes. So hopefully we'll get less footage of me falling over and more footage of me being able to successfully take the corners and do the pizza. I'm not carrying all my gear this time, so I can show you around a bit more. We're off to the spa while Luke is off to do some red runs. No, the visibility is really bad today. You can't see anything.
No,
not that you can see it, but this is the bottom of the nursery slope just here. And the spa is that way. I'll just show you this as well. So this is called the button lift, or the butt lift as we've renamed it. And that takes you up to the top of the nursery slope. You basically put that between your legs, you can see people doing it there, and let it pull you up the hill. Here comes Luke.
Alright. Yes. We thought you might have gone up the nursery and down this way to the back lift.
Oh, there's a spa, look. Luke's now getting the chairlift up. Which one is he? There he is. The one in blue on the inside. That's it. Oh, we weren't allowed to film in the spa, unfortunately, but that was some nice R&R. Definitely recommended for a skiing holiday anyway. There's jacuzzi, steam rooms, saunas, even like a rapids sort of pool that goes around in a circle, which is quite fun. And now we've come out and look at this. The sun has come out. We've been in the spa for about 2 hours, and that's the time it's taken Luke to do the red run. So we're now going to go meet up with him and then go for a drink. Last place you just saw was an underground wine bar that we found, which was quite smart. Now I know what you're thinking, hang on a minute, this doesn't look like France, and you'd be right. I am back in my van. On the last couple of days of the skiing trip, Luke and Maria were really getting into the vlogging, which is great because it means I've got loads and loads of footage, but I'm here now just to add some context to that footage. So it doesn't just look completely random, because all slopes will look identical, I would imagine. And if you've seen me fall over once, you've seen me fall over 1,000 times. For those that are interested in going on a skiing holiday, I want to give you a little bit more information really about what it was like. From skiing all day, we were just shattered by the evening. So we really didn't do much in the evening. The food and drink compilation that I just showed you was really the extent of our socialising. Most evenings we were in bed before 9 or 10 o'clock because, yeah, we were so tired from skiing all day. There are lots of bars and restaurants and cafes and all sorts dotted along the slopes. But of course you need to be able to ski to a certain level to get to some of them. There was one where you could take the cable car up and they would let you take the cable car down as well. So we went up to an altitude of 2,100 meters in the cable car. Luke and Maria took their skis because they were going to ski back down again, whereas I got the cable car back down again because that slope was beyond my capabilities. This particular restaurant that we went to, it was heaving. The views were amazing, absolutely stunning. And bearing in mind, I previously told you that it was about 0 degrees. When the sun is out at that altitude, the sun is so hot that you have to start taking layers off, even though it's really cold temperatures. Technically, it really doesn't feel like it. But the restaurant or bar or whatever you want to call it, it was really, really lively. The food was absolutely delicious, really delicious. We only went up there for lunch, but the portion sizes were massive. I ended up taking a doggy bag back down the slope with me. After we headed back down, me in the cable car, those guys were skiing down. Luke went off to do the red run again across into Italy. And Maria and I went back to the nursery green slope so that I could get some more practice in. Having that day off set me back, and when I got back on the slope, I was like I had to learn it all over again. And it was only on the very final few runs that I was starting to get the hang of managing to turn while in the pizza position. As I say, I've got some great footage for you. I've got some footage which I can show you from Luke on the red runs to give you a little bit of an idea of what they're about. Although when he was filming when it wasn't so steep, just because even though he can ski, filming and skiing down the steep parts is asking for trouble. day, our flight home wasn't until 8 o'clock in the evening, so we decided to check out at 10 as normal, and rather than have another day on the slopes, we headed into Italy and spent the day in Turin. We were taking in all of the architecture. We've got loads of videos on. It was absolutely an absolutely stunning city in terms of architecture, and the shops, you've got Gucci, Armani, all of the big designer names. And we found the Italians to be really friendly, really helpful. We struggled to get a parking ticket where we'd parked, and people were just all too happy to help, and they were all too happy to tell us where to go, what to see. We really wanted to see the Egyptian Museum. It's meant to be one of the top attractions, but unfortunately it was fully booked, and we tried to book it 2 days before we went as well, and it was still fully booked. We couldn't get in. So if you ever find yourself in Turin, I recommend checking it out, but make sure you book in advance. Around 4 to 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon, we were starting to think about eating, and I don't know if we just got unlucky or if this is really a thing, but nowhere was serving food, and Turin is a big city. We were thinking how crazy it was that we were walking through a city and not a single place was serving food. All of the restaurants were either closed or the kitchen was closed. So we weren't sure if this was just bad luck for us or if it was actually a thing. But by the time we got to the airport, around 6 p.m, we were starving. So we just had to grab a quick burger at the airport before heading back. And then fast forward to the present moment. I'm back, I've just unpacked, my washing's on, and I'm thankful I'm all in one piece. No broken limbs. I just stuck to the nursery slope to try and practice, just going round and round and round, practicing to get these turns. I really enjoyed it. I really did, and I'm definitely going back. The costings weren't too bad. The flights paid £150, just under, and that was including 20 kilograms checked luggage with Ryanair. And ironically, it cost more to fly my luggage than it did to fly myself. I think the flights were something like £20-30 just for me, and then you add your luggage in. But you need luggage when you go in skiing because of all your ski stuff, really. Even though I hired most of my gear, you've got bulky clothes because it's colder, and you need to wear jumpers and coats and things in the evening. The accommodation Luke sorted, and I think it was around about €280 for 3 of us. You could get 4 in that apartment, although one person would have had to have had the top bunk, and it would have been the same price. That was for 4 nights. Eating out for the 3 of us cost around €80 per night, and normally we had 2 or 3 courses. We really did eat quite a lot because you're skiing all day, so you get really hungry. Plus what you're spending during the day on lunch or drinks or what have you, so probably about €50 for lunchtime for all of us. Not just per person, for all of us. The ski hire for me was €70. For them it was €40 because they only needed the skis. And the ski pass worked out at €50 per day. And the ski pass is just a little card that means that you can access the ski lifts. And of course you need to access the ski lifts because that's the only way you can get up the hills. I'd definitely go again, although I would get a lesson next time because it's quite technical. It's trying to tell your body to lean the opposite way to what you want to turn, and there's technique to it which I was just trying to pick up as I went along, and there's lots of people that were having lessons when they were out there, so that's probably what I would do different. And what I'll do next time is on the first day get one of the instructors to give me a lesson, or alternatively visit a ski slope nearby. I know we've got one in Norwich, and there's one in Milton Keynes as well. I think the Milton Keynes one is better. That's obviously if you're based in the UK, but to be fair, I don't think I'd bother doing that. I'd wait until I got out there and get a lesson on the slopes. So there we have it. I hope you enjoyed my vlog. It's been the first one for a while. I plan on doing another travel vlog in the springtime. I don't know if any more spontaneous trips might crop up between now and then. That is the beauty of living a life of freedom, which if you are new to my channel, a lot of my content is based on life redesign coaching. So if you've enjoyed this, stick around and check out some of those videos. And don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I'll see you all in the next video.